now that you guys know so much stuff, when you start solving equations, sometimes you're going to have to put a plus or minus, and sometimes kids or students learning for the first time don't know when to do that. And the short answer is you put a plus or minus anytime the unknown was raised to an even power, or if you've undone an even power. And the reason for that is because, well, for example, here are some problems where I have the unknown raised to even powers. And if you think about what these things are saying, we're looking for something to square and give us 25. There's two things I can square to get 25. I could square 5 or negative 5. Likewise over here, I could take a 2 to the 4th power or a negative 2 to the 4th power. In both cases, I would end on a positive 25 or a positive 16. If I undo an odd power, I'm not going to change the sign because, for example, this equation has an answer of positive 2. Because 2 times 2 times 2 is going to be 8. But negative 2 is not going to work because a negative 2 times a negative 2 is going to be a positive 4 times another negative 2 is a negative 8. So the answer here is only going to be x equals positive 2. This guy is going to have an answer of, when you need to multiply something by itself 5 times, you get negative 243. It'll be a negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is going to be positive 9. Times another negative 3 is positive 27, negative 27. Then a positive 81. Then a negative 243. So just the answer of negative 3 is all we want over here. So the next thing, though, sometimes we're going to see fractional powers. So I just want to point out that, like, any of these problems might end up having fractional exponents instead. So we might see something like this, or something like this, or like this. You'll see in the next few examples. I want to point out that this is still raised to an even power, but then it's like cube rooted. So, or this is raised to an even power and then cube rooted. This is raised to a 3rd power, then square rooted. That's raised to a 5th power, then square rooted. But it's still just if the numerator is even, then you have to put a plus or minus. Because having an even numerator is like having an even power. Having an odd numerator is like having an odd power. So you put a plus or minus. It's always, the short answer is always the fastest answer. Whenever the unknown is raised to an even power. And in the case of fractional exponents, the power you're raising it to is based on what the numerator is. So if the numerator is even and you're getting rid of that, you have to put a plus or minus. If your numerator is odd and you're getting rid of that, then you don't. So you'll see how that plays out in the next example.